Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to my first YouTube video. In today's video we're going to be looking at all my tools that I use on a day-to-day basis, plus some extra tools that I've acquired during my time in the trade. My name's Josh, I'm a 25-year-old apprentice, and I'm just going to sort of give you an insight of a plumber from an apprentice's position in this day and age. I hope you enjoy. So as you can see here, I've got all my tools laid out on the floor. That one on the left will be coming to later on in the video. The ones I'm mainly going to be focusing on are these ones just here. So this is a Technics tool bag. I was given to it from work. As you can see, the handle's slightly damaged. But still does the job on a day-to-day basis, and it also has a hard plastic bottom, which is good for protecting your tool bag. It actually is better than my original one just here, which just had a sort of cardboard lined base. Here is my soldering box, Rayco. I saw IRB Heating post this on Instagram, and I was like, I could do with one of myself. It's actually a really handy little box because you got space. I just put this on to protect my blowtorch, but you got space to put your blow lamp in, rags, fluxes, brushes, abrasive cloths, and also it has a little slidey out bit which you can put all your fixtures and fittings in. Well, mainly just fittings. And as you can see, there's plenty of there to get you through most jobs, to be honest. Actually in it, I got a fluctuator. It's not in as good shape as it was brand new, probably could do with a bit of a clean. All your Rayco fluxes. So the small parts, they're actually really handy because they come, I'll just show you. They come with a brush on the inside. That one isn't in the best of shape. I'll just show you another one. Just bear with me. So as you can see on this one, they come with a brush. So if ever you're short on flux brushes, lost them, damaged, you can buy the smaller pots and get a free brush. In this pot just here, which you can just see, I keep a damp rag, so I keep a little bit of water in the bottom and put a rag in it, and that helps me to keep a damp rag on site or if ever I need it, which is really handy. Obviously once you've soldered a joint, you don't have to run it under the tap or anything like that. You've got a damp rag to hand. Here is a little bit of a pipe cleaner. So what I tend to use this for is you get yourself a fitting, you sort of pop that in the fitting like so, twist it, and that will get it ready for soldering. Similar to this comes with the fitting cleaner on it as well, but it's also got a 15 and 22mm cleaner, which you just poke your pipe in like so, twist it a couple of times, and that cleans the ends of your pipes. We've got ranges of pipe slicers. I've got Rothenberger pipe slicers, and I bought a set of 3, which I think was about 28 quid. My first ever set, Silverline, off eBay, 15, 22 and 28. Obviously these two you use a lot more than this one, but it's always handy to have a 28mm slice. There's my 2 Rothenberger ones and a Copex one, which I've found on site. Got a little flux brush there, some PTFE, which you always need. Also, on the Rothenberger Superfire 2 torches, which probably a lot of you do have or might want to invest, this has got a cool tip. So I'll just show you just now. 1 second, just bear with me. So And look, literally straight after, you can touch the end of the tip, nice and cool. See, not burning my fingers. Whereas with this one, the one that originally comes with it, if I were to do that, I probably would have just burnt my fingers. The advantages to that is it gives you more of a refined flame with the cool tip. It's only about 14 quid I think on eBay. Sorry, I lost my trail of thought. Yeah, with the cool tip, if you knock it over and it lands on like someone's furniture or someone's carpet, because it's cool, it's not going to cause any damage, obviously like the others will. So this is some abrasive cloth. You can buy these in strips or in a roll. I chose to buy it in a roll because you get better value for money. And all you do with this, you take it out as packaging, which I haven't done yet because I only bought it the other day. You cut it down to the size you need, and they are absolutely great for getting paintwork off pipe. So if you need to obviously cut a bit of pipe and solder onto it, that is, you get out of jail free card. Obviously, if you're on a budget, because there are obviously different tools and stuff out there for doing the same thing. This is just some steel wool, which I've literally bought the other day because I'm doing a job privately on Saturday. And you just tear that off as much as you need, and that cleans your pipes. So that's all the soldering gear covered. Here's my first pipe bender. It's a bit cheaper than the Hillmore, the Rothenbergers, and the other pipe benders that are on the market. However, this gets the job done. Probably, I think I bought it for about £45 on eBay again. But the good thing that swayed me towards this is, as you can see, it's got this little pouch here. Inside this pouch, it has your formers. So, as you know, if you lose them, you pretty much, your whole pipe bender is useless then. So that is always great to have with you at all times, because you pull out your pipe bender, you got your formers there ready to go. Job's a good one. Here is an external stop tap key, and this one has a square end, a diamond end, and this is basically for all types of stop tap. So I think it's a 3-in-1. This is a Rothenberger one. This is probably more expensive than your standard ones because it's longer than your standard ones, which is good to get to deeper external stop taps. I think that cost me about £15–20. That one was from Screwfix, so not an eBay buy. But here is my day-to-day kit. So things that I'll use on a daily basis. So in this front left pocket here, I've got these plumber's grips. So I've got some Fat Max ones here, which I was given by work when I started as an apprentice. They gave me some like tools. They weren't great, obviously I know they're not the best in the market, but they get the job done. I bought these ones here. These are some, can you see it on here? Yeah, these are some backhoe grips, and these come with like a little adjustable thing here. And just try and shit. Oh, it's going to not be great with one hand, but sorry guys. You can click it into place, and it sort of locks into place that you need it, and then to basically adjust it back, you can just push it up like that, and it adjusts back to whatever size you need. And this is just some cheap ones which I've had for a while. These are actually probably the ones that I use the most, believe it or not, at the minute. I'm starting obviously to use these ones a bit more because I just bought them, but they're actually quite good as well. So let's have a further look in my tool bag. So here's just some flathead screwdrivers. I've got a little miniature one here, so if I'm doing any wiring, it's got a smaller tip and it's good for doing wiring with that one. It's not got an insulated tip though, so obviously I wouldn't advise using one like that, but obviously you can see this one's got an insulated tip, but this is a posi one, so that's all my posi screwdrivers. On the left hand side here I've got chisels, so I've got some cold chisels for block work, just a crappy old wood chisel which I use for like floorboards and stuff like that. Got a Stanley hammer on site, that is like the best because on the site work plumbing that I'm doing at the minute, they use nail on clips, so so obviously you're not going to be able to nail on clips without a hammer. And this top right hand pocket here, I should have I think I've got another backhoe spanner in there. I've got a backhoe spanner, and the bits of kit that came with college were monument spanners, and these are actually great as well, because as you can see, I'll just show you this now, they're actually a lot thinner than the backhoe spanners, and also this one's nice and small, so it gets in when you want to get somewhere, and this length can sometimes just be a bit too much, and this is great to get into small areas, and I'd say literally it's just as good as the backhoe spanner. Obviously many of you might not agree with that statement, but I'll let you fight that out in the comments. Here I've got a set of Rothenberger box spanners, and what's good with these is these holes here, I'll just show you. You can basically put like a screwdriver in or something like that underneath the unit, turn it, and then you can tighten it like that if it's obviously it's underneath a sink or bath and it's hard to get to places. Got another bigger monument spanner, another bigger backhoe spanner. Try and keep these sort of organised so at the end I can show you all the kit laid out of what you'll sort of need on a day-to-day basis. In here I've got some ratcheted waste cutters, so you literally just ratchet them out to what you need. You stick your pipe in and then you literally just ratchet it around, but usually with some pipe you can just cut it, some other pipe you have to like push it in, twist it a little bit around, just it's cut it slightly and then ratchet it down, and then you get a nice clean cut from that. So they're some good waste pipe cutters. I do also have a set of Rothenberger ones of them, but I don't have them on me. Just here I have some ratchet spanners. I've got a whole set in that bag over there, which I'll briefly go through at the end of the video. But these are I mainly use these on site for putting basins on the wall. So obviously you get the two bolts that you drill into the wall, and then I use these here to adjust the nuts into the wall. So further on from my day-to-day kit is I've got a lump hammer to go with the cold chisels just here for when I'm doing chases in the wall. However, I now have an SDS drill, so I don't actually use that as much. There's my other backhoe spanner, which I was moaning about not finding earlier. Also in here we have a little crowbar. I'll leave it like that so you can see it at the end. And that's good for lifting up floorboards. Also on site sometimes they put the joist too close to the block work, so that can just prise it just enough to poke your pipes down. Yeah. Also in here I have some plastic pipe cutters. Although I do rather enjoy working with copper a lot more, these are probably not invaluable, but they are invaluable on site, because obviously 90% of the pipes that go in new builds now is plastic. This here is a spud wrench on like a ratchet, and this you can use for radiator tails, all sorts of things. It's a good little bit of kit that I thought I'd buy. Not used it loads yet, but I'm sure it has its place in my kit bag anyway, so that says it there. And obviously the old style radiator tail spanner. A file. So I do have some more wood ones in that bag over there, which I will go through at the end of the video, but I'm going to go through that one very briefly, because obviously it does have a few plumbing stuff in there, but it's also got just sort of back of the van stuff that I've just chucked in the back. Obviously if I do need it for anything else or what I don't use as often, but this is what I carry on a day-to-day basis. So this is a file just for deburring the ends of 4-inch pipe work or other waste pipe work. Got another pair of plastic waste cutters. I keep this on me. This is a good bit of kit. If ever you install a shower waste and it comes with one of these can be great because you can just pop it into your shower waste, twist it, and then it tightens it up for you, rather than trying to put a screwdriver in it or getting someone to hold it from the bottom. It can be okay. And here's another thin little spanner which I got with my original college toolkit, and that one there is also good for getting tight little small places. So I'm just going to show you all of my day-to-day kit now. So yeah, we've covered all of that. I'm going to leave that out for now just so I can cover the last bits. So here, as you can see, it's all the rest of my tools. I need to sort these through, but I've cleaned out my van and just chucked them in this bag for now. Like I said, this is my original tool bag, the Amtech one. It did serve me well, to be honest, but I got another free one for work and just use a smaller one now. So in here, I've got some bigger adult hacksaws. This one here I bought from the car boot and it's absolutely great. I've not used it as yet, but the reason I have bought it is, as you can see, it's nice and thin, and if you need to cut any pipe work underneath floorboards, you can get that in easier. And obviously look at the size of that, you never get in a big hacksaw. Even the junior hacksaw you're going to struggle to get in, and even if you're just holding the blade, trying to cut pipe by just holding the blade, you really are going to struggle. So this bit, okay, it hasn't served me well yet, but I'm sure one day it's going to have its time and place. So let's have a look at the rest of here. Got a spare hammer because you can never have too many hammers. A few other bits and bobs. In here I've got a whole spanner set. I'll just quickly show you that. If I can get the thing open. Maybe I shouldn't have tied it in such a good knot. Let's see if I can get that open for you guys. So I've literally got a whole set of spanners there. Not used that much, but if ever I've got this, well, if ever I need to use it, or yeah, I've basically got it there. There's the Rothenberger waste grips I was on about earlier. I've got some Stilsons. These came with the bit of kit that I got when I joined my company that I work at the minute. No real need for them, to be honest, on site, but obviously later on down the line in my career, I'm sure obviously I might use them at some point. Also in here I've got some spade bits. These are just some cheap ones that I bought, I think from, can't really remember where I bought them from, to be honest, but I've got a whole set there. They're not great, but they do the job. Got all the different sizes. Also in here, basically I just use this for filling. That's what I've used it before, so if I ever make a hole, obviously I just use that to fill it. So that's always good to have. In here as well, more plumbing related this one is. It's a tap spanner. I don't really like these, to be honest, but got given it. But they're for like getting underneath kitchen sinks and stuff, gets you that bit of access. As you can see, because it's got a long handle and a grip, that gets you probably just underneath the basin and allows you to tighten it from low down, because obviously you can't get a spanner underneath there easily. Another thing plumbing related, obviously all the others weren't so plumbing related. This is an immersion spanner. So it's taking out immersion heaters and old cylinders and replacing them. I'll show you another one, because I do believe I do have so I do have another one in here. This one, which is another immersion spanner, and the reason I bought that one as well, I haven't used these yet because I haven't done much work on cylinders myself, but I've heard obviously immersion cylinders have a lot of like insulation and lagging on them, and obviously if you're trying to tighten that or loosen that off, with one of these, you're going to have to cut off a lot of lagging to get it flush and make it so you're able to actually loosen off the immersion heater. Whereas with this, it can slide straight over. I think it's also got a little dimple there where you can obviously put the wire into that little dimple, and then that will allow you to loosen it without breaking off all the lagging. Here's the rest of my ratcheted spanners, which go with these ones just here, but these are the sizes that I don't use so often, so I've just chucked it in this bag here. This needs a new cutting disc, but this will allow me to cut, does it say what size it cuts up to? Cuts up to 38mm. So obviously if I never need to cut any part with that big, if I get that cutting disc repaired, as you can see it's got some fucking massive tooth marks in it. Yeah, I've got that if I need it. Another spanner I found, just kept that. What else have I got in here that you might want to see? This isn't my main boat level, it's just another spare boat level. I have a magnetic one, which this isn't, that I have on site, and I use that to stick onto the radiator brackets when I'm hanging radiators, so I can get them nice and level, and obviously I can just stick them on, screw it in level, and jobs are good in. This is, I think it's called a rasp. This is for like filing down like plasterboard. So if ever you need to patch up any plasterboard, you can cut it to size, and if you cut it a couple of mil too big, you can just rasp it down a little bit and shave off that couple of mil to get you nice and snug into that gap. Here we have a joiner's set square. Apparently it's meant to be really old. The guy at the car boot, believe it or not, told me that. Apparently it's worth a lot of money, but probably just saying it because he wanted me to buy that. Originally I bought that to bend perfect 90 degrees, and obviously once I had a perfect 90 degree I was going to make a mark on my bender, and then obviously that's sort of like a guide then for future reference, but then didn't really get on with that and I bought a proper square. Obviously I've still not actually made the mark on my bender, I've just bend 90 degrees by eye, but it's always good to have if you want to have it like pristine and as good as possible. Another just another bit of kit. And yeah, that's literally all of my kit. It's going to be fun putting all of this back, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. Anything that you'd like to see in the future, just let me know, drop it in the comments, drop me a personal message, and I'll try and cover that content in the future. Have a nice evening guys, take care.